Well, this is the SWFT Max G electric moped, and while Swift makes really nice electric bikes, they have now made an electric moped, and that's what we're going to be testing out and reviewing today. We'll start things off by going over all the features and the specs so we know what we're working with, and then we're heading out on the road. I'm going to test this baby out, and we're going to see exactly how the Max G performs on the street. So if you're looking for something a little bit more substantial than an e-bike or an electric scooter, the Max G might be what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and get started with today's episode of Hobart Reviews. Come on. Well, the Max G from Swift is a full-size electric moped with a 400-watt rear motor. It's got a top speed of 20 miles an hour and a range of up to 38 miles on a charge. Currently, the Max G is selling for $1,899 on their website, which is a pretty good deal for what you get. They also offer payment starting as low as $171 a month with Shop Pay. So Swift says that this has a 400-watt rear motor, but it feels much more powerful than 400 watts. At least on any other e-bike or electric scooter that I've ever tested before. But I have to keep in mind that those motors are only about that big, while this one is about twice the size, so maybe that has something to do with it. All I know is that the acceleration and torque on this does not feel like any 400-watt motor that I've ever felt in any of the testing that I've done. So we're gonna have to do an acceleration test in just a couple minutes to see how quick we can get up to that top speed of 20 miles an hour. And I'm just gonna give you a hint, it's just a few seconds. So you do have a little bit of storage underneath this nice cushy seat, and at first I couldn't figure out how to unlatch it and get it open until I looked over here at the key, and if you turn the key backwards, it will release the seat and you can open it up. And inside I've got myself I got myself a bottle of water. This has an alarm too, by the way. It has a bottle of water. They also give you an extra key fob and key. And then right here is where your battery is inside as well, which you can unplug and remove if you want to. And then close it back up when you're ready to ride. So you do get a couple options for kickstands on the Max G. You have this standard kickstand here, which is nice. It doesn't let the bike lean very much. It's nice and sturdy. But you also have this big one back here that you can use to get the bike up off the road like that. So it's totally off the road. I don't use it very much. I'm more of a regular kickstand type of guy, so I just use that one right there, but it's great that you get both options. All right, so one of the first things I like to do while I got a full battery as a top speed and acceleration test, and while we know this thing goes 20 miles an hour, that's a given, but how quick can we get there? Let's go ahead and find out how quick this 400-watt motor can get all 360 pounds of me in the scooter. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. Look at that, 9 seconds, all 360 pounds of me in the scooter at the top speed. Oh, by the way, it's got cruise control. So there's a button right here. You can push this button, and now look at this. I can let off the throttle. I'm going 20 miles an hour. So we got cruise control here on the Max G. And to disengage it, you can either hit the throttle, or if you want to, you can hit the brakes. So if I'm engaged again, you can hit the brakes, and that's also going to slow you down. But yeah, we got cruise control on this baby. Look at that. And this seat is super comfortable too. You got this big bench seat, so it's like sitting on a pillow. Now let's see how maneuverable it is. I'm gonna turn. Whoop, look at that. It's really smooth and comfortable to ride too. That suspension works really well. Yeah, you'll feel a bump here and there, but when you're not feeling bumps, it's like you're floating, which is really nice. Now it does come with mirrors, as you can see on the left and right, and you just tighten them down and get them where you want so you can see easily behind you, which is a great addition. Now this over here is gonna be your headlight control. So you've got off, and then I think you have kind of like a dim parking light one, and then this is gonna be your headlight on. And then over here, you have a regular headlight, or you can turn the brights on. And the brights are just like a car or a motorcycle brights. It lights up everything in front of you. So that's your lights. This one over here to turn them off and on, and this one here to turn your brights on and off. And then you've got your blinker here, so left blinker and right blinker. And then you got a really loud horn. I mean, extremely loud horn. Now, I really like that we have larger tires here on the Max G. These are the largest tires of any electric vehicle that I've tested to date. And they're about 10 inches in diameter, whereas the electric scooter tires are about half the size. So as far as stability is concerned, this rides more like a moped, like it should, rather than an electric bike or an electric scooter, which can sometimes get a little wobbly. This is smooth and wants to go straight. Look at that, I'm holding on with 2 fingers and we're still riding nice and smooth. So the stability on here, look at that, 2 fingers, just keeping it straight, in cruise control, and this does not want to wobble. So the control, the balance on here is really nice. All right, so let's pull over here and see where we're at as far as mileage so far. The gauge on the battery is still showing 100%. So I want to see how far we've gone so far. We've gone 7.15 miles, and we still have 100% showing on the batteries. Now, the battery level is more of like 100%, 75, 50, 25. So we're probably under the 100, but we're over 75 still. So let's keep riding and see what kind of range we're looking at by the time we get done with our ride. Look at that, comfortable, turning. It's so nice. You can lean in and feel stable. And you hear how quiet it is? I don't hear any motor noise whatsoever, 0. Whereas on an electric scooter or electric bike, you'd be hearing a little bit of a hum, wah. There's absolutely nothing, it's quiet. Going over those bricks doesn't feel like anything. I don't even feel the difference. All right, so we had a little bit of rain on my way back towards my house, so I had to take a little bit of a break, but I still have the 75% battery. I haven't charged anything, and I've gone 15.83 miles so far. So I'm gonna go ahead, go over to my app, and we're gonna start this again, and we're gonna continue to see what kind of range we can get here out of the SWFT Max G. Let's go. Now, normally I do a brake test where I go fast and then slam on the brakes, but I'm not sure if that's smart with something as heavy and as big as this. So what I will do is I'll go 20 miles an hour and I'll press on the brakes as hard as I can safely. Remember, we've got a disc brake up front and we've got drum brake in the back. So let's go ahead and hit the brakes from 20 miles an hour and see what happens. Whoa! Wow! I mean, that was almost an instant stop. I'd say 15 feet tops. Let's do that again. And no sound. I didn't feel any skidding at all. So that's a nice controlled brake. All right, 18, 19, 20. Let's hit the brakes. Bam! Wow. So brakes are working great on this. Remember, disc brake in the front and drum brake in the rear. Wow. I was actually kind of nervous about doing that with such a big, moped here, hoping that it would be safe, but I felt absolutely confident. I'll do it again right now. Absolutely confident when braking with this thing. Wow, nice job. All right, so we're cruising in cruise control at 20 miles an hour. Now we're gonna go up a little bridge here. I wanna see if we lose any speed going up this bridge or if it can hold on at 20 the whole way up. Still holding at 20? No problem, holding at 20. Wow, look at that. I know it's more powerful than 400 watts. It just feels like it. So, yep, we're at the top of the bridge. It was able to hold on to 20 the whole way up, losing nothing. All right, so now we're down to 50% battery. It has dropped down to 50% battery. It says we've gone 4 miles today, maybe a little bit more. So we're at almost 20 miles or a little over 20 miles right now. And that's at full blast. You know, we're doing 20 miles an hour all the time. All right, so I've turned back around, heading back the other way towards my house because I'm getting a little bit worried here, getting some range anxiety, but we are at 50%, it's showing here on the battery. And it looks like we have gone another 6.75 miles on top of 15.8. So basically 15, 21, we're at 22 and a half or so miles so far, and we're showing 50%. So I'm gonna keep going, head back towards my house, and when we get there, we'll see what kind of range we got. How does it handle railroad tracks? No problem. All right, so on the way here, we saw that we didn't lose any miles per hour when we were already moving. And now that we're at 50% battery, let's go up this bridge from a stop and see if it has any issues, all right? So we're gonna floor it from a stop and let's go. Can we get to 20 before we get to the top? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we're not at the top yet. Here's the top. So it was still able to power up this bridge with 50% battery to the top speed before we reach the top. That's I don't think I've had anything that I've tested get to the top speed before we got to the top, let alone get to the top speed at all. Well, we're still holding 50%. We just hit 10 miles here on the speedometer today. So if we go by that, we've gone 25.88 miles and we're still showing 50%. Now, I'm sure it's under 50% and it could go to 25% at any time now. Don't worry about me. I'm just trying to run the battery out on this thing. Still showing 50%. Still able to hit 20, no problem. 50% battery. Up. So I think I ran out just now. It says 50% battery, but it's dying as we speak. All right, so I just killed this thing. I just killed the battery on the SWFT Max G. So let's go ahead and see where we're at. So we went 10.37 miles today. We'll hit stop there. And we also went 15.83 miles a little earlier. So 15.83 plus 10.37 is 25, 26 and change. So we went 26 miles on this thing with me as a 200-pound rider. And we finally killed the SWFT Max G. Good thing I'm close to the house. I might have to walk this thing the rest of the way, but this is the walk of shame right here. Good thing there's a little cut through down here to get to my house. What's crazy is that it was saying 50% battery and then it died. Now I hope that was the battery that shut off. I'm guessing it was, because it won't even power on. But yeah, it's kind of funny that at 50% battery showing, it never even went to 25. It just totally shut off. All right, so I got back to my house here and I started playing around with it a little bit. And as you can see, I got it turned back on again and it still says I got 50% battery. What had happened was, if you go underneath the seat here, this cable right there, that cable had come loose, and I would imagine it's from going over speed bumps and things like that, and there's nothing to really lock it down in there, so that had come loose, and of course the power did not get to the scooter, so it shut off. So once I pushed that back in again and came and turned this back on, it powered up fine with no problem, and it's still showing 50% battery. So I just wanted to be upfront and clarify that while I'm gonna end my range test at 26.8 miles, that the Max G could go further than that, maybe 30, 35 miles before it would actually run out of battery. But that is a con underneath here, that having this battery cable come loose while riding, that's not good. So maybe put some kind of a mechanism there that will hold that in when you're going over bumps. All right, so let me give you my final thoughts here on the SWFT Max G electric moped. There's really nothing bad to say about it, except for I wish it went faster. I know it can, but I understand that there's limitations to abide by motor power and top speed laws around the world. In the United States, they're a little bit looser than they are, let's say, in Europe or in other places. So I wish there was a way for us to unlock maybe 10 more mile-an-hour speed. But other than that, it's just a dream to ride. If you're looking for something a little bit more substantial than an e-bike or an electric scooter, you're looking for an electric moped, and you have rules and regulations to follow, well, this one should be one that you should consider for sure. The quality is incredible. I love the bigger wheels and tires. It makes it nice and comfortable when you ride, along with that suspension in the front and rear. That's really, really nice. Also, you can ride at night with no problem because you have a huge bright headlight here, and you have an even brighter bright headlight that you can turn on in here. You got blinkers, you got hydraulic brakes and drum brakes, so they're quiet as a mouse. As you saw during our testing, you stopped almost immediately, no skidding, so I love that. I love that we have mirrors here included so we can see behind us when we're riding so we don't get hit by anybody. We got storage underneath our seat. By the way, the seat is nice and comfortable. It's like a motorcycle, moped seat, so you can sit on it for miles and miles and miles. The range was incredible as well. Can't complain about that at all. You got a rack on the back if you need to go to the store and pick something up. You can bungee it down back there as well. and it's got an incredibly loud horn. So overall, I got nothing bad to say, except for I just wish it went faster. It's so much fun to ride. So if you have any questions or comments about the SWFT Max G, please leave them below. I'll answer them the best that I can. And if you want to go ahead and purchase one of these guys, I'll put a link down there for you as well. If I earned it today, hit that like and subscribe. And for the Max G from SWFT and Hobart's Reviews, my name is Hobart. Thanks for joining me today. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.